Hey guys, welcome back. I know it has been a while. I think I haven't uploaded a video in almost 3 or 4 weeks. So finally I have one for you, and I think continuing with the fall theme. This is basically my fall makeup routine. I don't know, in summer I was all about, I do apologize, you're gonna hear traffic like always. If it isn't traffic, it's roosters. Like, there isn't any happy medium on my videos, so I do apologize. So going back to what I was saying, in summer I was all about really sunky skin, really like lightweight coverage, and of course like really shimmery bronzers. Now when it comes to fall, I typically like to go a little bit more matte. I think because I like my makeup to look natural, so therefore I feel because the weather is a bit colder and a bit drier, I do, even though I want to get my skin look really moisturized and pretty, but I also want to get like really like matte bronzers and use a lot of warm shades on my eyelids. I mean, I can just go on and off. So I have here basically my makeup bag. So I think it's gonna be almost like a little bit of a chatty one, but obviously I like to cut this thing out because I don't like really long makeup tutorials. So yeah, so let's start. Okay, so first thing first, you know that I use primers all the time, and I'm still using my SMASHBOX photo finish primerizer, which I feel like this one is great because again it's like also like a skincare product. I always says because it does have hyaluronic acid, which is perfect for you, and it really sinks up into your skin. You don't feel it, and makes your makeup look really cool. So I do like it. So question 4, where the hell have I been? Working a lot. Like I mentioned you guys before, I do have a life. Like, YouTube is in my life. I wish it was, but unfortunately I do have another job to do. So of course I wanted to film for a while, but I just couldn't find the time. So I hope that after this video I'm gonna be more a little bit into my scheduling routine because I missed it and I really love to do this. So yeah. Okay, so something that I use, I mean, I think this is an old product. I don't know if it is available still. If it is, obviously I'm going to link it below. And this one is the Clarins Base Illuminator. I know that I have a few shades. I think this one is Base 1. And this one is almost, it is a primer. But what I kind of love about this one is I use especially where I use highlighter. So for example, I apply this on my cheekbones, a little bit on my brows, on my chin, and on my nose. It has a little bit of a almost like a perfumey scent, but I used to use this all the time, and I just was cleaning up my drawers and I found it, and I have been using it this past few months, and I really have been enjoying it. So obviously I want to check out if Clarins make like more shades, because this one is a little bit more of a pinky one, but either way I really love the effects. As you can see, it has a little bit of shine, so I do like it because I think it looks great under my foundation. So for base, if you remember my summer video, I was all about the non-foundation, and if I was wearing foundation, I was using a lot of my Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. But now, as you know me, I'm going back to my favorite one, which, oh my god, it's so dirty, which is my It Cosmetic Your Skin But Better CC Full Coverage Cream mixed with my MAC Mineralized Foundation. If you ask me what is your favorite foundation stuff, it's this too. For some reason, they just work perfect together and on my skin. And what I kind of love is that the It Cosmetic is full coverage, and the matte one again is a little bit more dewy. I have used it plenty of my channel, so basically I'm just mixing them both. I do want to try the Beauty Blender one. That's on my list to get. So, but of course I just wanted to do this one. Use this one up because it's my favorite foundation, and again I like it especially for fall, winter. I really like to use this foundation because even though it is full coverage, it also has some dewiness, which that's really odd to find in a full coverage foundation. So yeah. So as you see, I'm blending them out because my It Cosmetic is a little bit light. So what I do is I use my MAC basically just to create my perfect shade, and then you know I'm gonna use my Beauty Blender. Let me get my mirror. So that's basically my foundation done. Now for concealer, I have tried a new one and I have been completely hooked. and it's actually from the drugstore, which I always love when I find these little gems. And I actually saw Alana Davidson talk a lot about this concealer, so of course I wanted to try it, and now I get the buzz about it. And I'm talking about this one from L'Oreal. This one is a True Match Super Blendable Multi-Use Concealer. When I saw it, it reminded, no, it's a shot. It reminded me a lot of, I don't know if it was Maybelline, the one who came up with this type of concealer. They had the bit of the little sponge on the top. So this one is the same. You roll it in, and then obviously you apply it. Now the shade that I picked up is medium N56, which I was between this one or the C56, but I think this one works better on me because it's more of a yellowy tone. Now this one, I used it the other day just on its own, and I was really impressed. It has almost like a powdery consistency after you apply it, which I kind of love. And I think the trick with the sponge is the fact that you don't get that much product out. So I'm going to put this religiously all over my face, especially of course under my eyes, around my nose, around my mouth, just some places where my skin is a little bit darker. And I also like to apply this on my eyelids because, as you can see, they're a little bit dark. I mean, I know that I went a little bit crazy with this, but I really like it, and it really lasts a lot. And then instead of using the beauty blender, I kind of like to use my fingers, because for some reason with the beauty blender I get a lot of the product out, and because it already releases so much little product, well, that's what I feel like, I just don't want to remove it. So I think this shade color matched me perfectly, because I do like to go obviously lighter when it comes to concealers, because I do want them to conceal, which makes sense. By the way, it's raining, so you probably are gonna hear rain, thunder. I do have a little bit of a fan for my dog, so yep, my nosy videos, you know how they are. Just being consistent. So now it's time to go for bronzers. Now I was gonna buy the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil. I think that's the name. They have a shimmery one and a matte one. Of course I was gonna pick the matte one, but then I started thinking like, wait a minute, I do have my Hoola bronzer, which is almost the same. Now I saw obviously that Benefit has the Hoola bronzer in cream form, and I tried it, but I didn't like it, to be honest. I feel like this is such a cold product that I don't think that it needs to be changed. So of course I like it just as it is, which I'm also going to use as an eyeshadow in a few minutes. So I'm just using it just with a powder brush. And like always with highlighters, I always like to go on my temples, just almost where I typically contour. I always like to put on my chin, and of course on the bridge of my nose, which I feel like is my favorite place to put bronzer. I know this sounds weird, but I feel like because it just makes you look like you have a tan, that's why I like it. Hell yeah, that's thunder. So now it's time for blush. Now for blush, I like, by this time of year I typically like to use really dusty, very rosy blushes, and I haven't bought any new one, but I don't know, for some reason I'm just having hooked up to my Glossier, and this one is one of the Cloud Paint, but in the shade Dusk. I think this one was the first one that I got, and I really like how it looks with everything. And it starts to rain, so again I'm just going to apply it just the apple for my cheeks. And I think I like it because it looks really subtle, it looks really natural, and that's really what I'm looking for. And this one, I mean, obviously the Cloud Paints does have, it catches a bit the light, but I kind of like it because it looks really natural, and it looks great with the bronzer though, so love it. And then obviously with the excess, I like to put it on my eyelids. Okay, and that's it. Now it's time to put highlighters. Now this one is another new product that I tried. This actually is from Wet n Wild. When I was buying the L'Oreal concealer, I saw this one, I was really intrigued. This is actually one of their Mega Cushion highlighters. Now they come up now with cushion foundations, which you might think, well, they're a little bit off game because this was done last year, but I kind of like that they did it now because now I started to notice them And this ones, I believe they have a concealer, a corrector, a bronzer, and also a highlighter. Unfortunately, this one is a little bit of a pink one. I think the shade is called Cool Staff Pearl. And I saw it and I thought, you know what, it's different. So obviously it looks like this. So I think you can apply it with the fingers or with the beauty blender. I don't know which one should I use. I'm gonna use my finger and then I use the beauty blender because I haven't tried it. Okay. It reminded me a lot of the L'Oreal one that I picked up a few months ago. So I always like to put on the bridge of my nose, on my cupid's bow, and a little bit on my brow bone. And now let's blend this thing out. I like it. It's really subtle. I think that's why I can work with. I was a little bit scared because I feel like on me, I like to use more bronzy shade instead of really pink bright ones, but it works. Okay guys, so now it's time for the eyes, and as I mentioned you guys before, I kind of like really browny nude shade for this time of year, so I always like to use my bronzers as eyeshadow just to let you guys know that you can multi-use the product. So again, I'm gonna go back with my Hoola bronzer and I'm just gonna go all over my eyelids. And as you can see, it really does look gorgeous under the eyelids as well. So, and then I'm just gonna go and put it on my waterline as well. I always have been loving putting eyeshadow on my waterline. I just feel because of the shape of my eyes, I really need to. So I'm just going all the way in. Okay guys, perfect. So now, this time of year, I also like to use eyeliner, which I typically don't use, like an everyday thin. But again, I feel like for this time of year, I like to really crack in my liners. And this one actually is from Estee Lauder. This one is one of their double wear Stay in Place eye pencil in the shade 01 Onyx. And basically, I'm just going to line all of my waterline and all of my eye. I don't know why, for some reason I feel like it just makes such a difference. So now it's time to wear mascara. Now typically what I have been doing when I'm wearing mascara is I like to mix two. I like to mix a more lengthening one with a more voluminous one. So therefore I'm going to use two. I'm going to use my Glossier Lash Sleek one, and then I'm also going to use my Lancome Monsieur Big Mascara, and this one is waterproof. So I think first I'm going to apply my Glossier one, and then I'll go back in with the Lancome. Now you might have asked why use two steps. Again, I feel like with two mascaras I kind of get the job done. So now it's time for the Lancome. Okay, so I'm creeping up a little bit the light because it has gone all dark here. So obviously I just want you guys to make sure that you see my makeup. But yes, I just applied two of these mascaras. So now it's time to do my brows. Now guys, with my brows, I'm going to talk a little bit and you guys are going to see it as well, because you know already my routine, which of course, no surprise to you guys, you know I'm going to use my brow wiz with my Anastasia pomade. So now the difference is now I'm doing something really different, and is I'm actually lining up the borders of my brows. So what I'm doing is I'm making them now thinner and longer, and for some reason it has made such a major difference now on my brow routine. I'm really loving it. I feel like I'm already on a happy place when it comes to my brows now, because I already figured it out what was it I was doing wrong. And basically what I do is I fill them up completely with the pomade, and then, like you know, always I do the start of the brow with my brow wiz just to create those little hairs, and then with this spoolie I just basically filled up everything. Really happy now. I know that I have talked, I think since I started YouTube with the pomade, but it is my favorite product. Why change something good? But of course I think it's already coming to an end, so probably as it's finished I'm gonna try to find a new product, I promise you guys. Okay, now for last is the lipstick. Now the lipstick that I decided to use in this makeup look It's this one from Anastasia, which is in the shade Stouch. I have been wearing this lipstick non-stop. I'm really happy feeling right now, like this mauvey, pinky, browny nudes. I feel like they just suit me very well, and especially with this makeup look, I think like it just works great. Now, I also love Ashen, which if you saw my latest video, I was wearing it. That one is one of Anastasia Lipid lipsticks. It's also a favorite one for me this time of year. But guys, this is it. I hope you like my fall makeup look. Like always, everything is going to be linked below, as well as my social media. And if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit the link below. So yeah, guys, I'll see you next week with the video, which probably is going to be a favorites. So until then, bye.